real is the threat of Thrawn's return?
With Episode 7, titled Dreams and Madness, Ahsoka has finally reached at its penultimate point. However, the tale feels far from ready to close next week. After an episode-long break, Ahsoka, Rosario Dawson, returns to the main narrative, accompanying her loyal companion Huyang, David Tennant, as they travel the Purgil Express into a brand new galaxy of turmoil. As they travel forth into the unknown, Ahsoka takes time to practice with her former master Anakin Skywalker, Aiden Christensen, who graciously left her 20 training holograms before his unfortunate slide to the dark side. It seems that Ahsoka, despite her rebirth, is still hung up on the past. The episode opens in a more familiar galaxy, however, with Harrison Dulla, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, facing the consequences of her actions by way of a panel of skeptical and downright condescending senators, who view her reports on Morgan Elsbeth, Diana Lee Inosanto, and Thrawn Lars Mikkelsen as nothing more than a fairy tale. At the 11th hour, C-3PO, Anthony Daniels, comes with an urgent message from Senator Leia Organa, who allegedly sanctioned Hera's mission. While Hera manages to evade being court-martialed for her actions, Chancellor Mothma, Genevieve O'Reilly, immediately senses that Senator Organa didn't know about the mission until they needed her assistance getting Hera out of trouble. The only senator who considers Thrawn to be a real threat, one that requires real concern, is Mon Mothma. While the inclusion of Senator Organa feels a bit like a ploy to tug at still tender heartstrings, it was a relief that Dave Filoni opted to only mention her, rather than recreating her via CGI to add another ghoulish, uncanny valley Skywalker to the club. Ahsoka and Huyang are dropped right in the middle of a sizable Imperial minefield that has been set up to block her arrival when the Purgils finally make the jump to the galaxy far, far away. Even though Ahsoka is no sky guy, she expertly pilots their ship through a series of mines that look like they belong in a level from the Star Wars Jedi Starfighter video game that is virtually impossible to defeat. With Ahsoka's arrival proving that she evaded death, Morgan presents Thrawn with her discoveries about the Jedi as he requested in last week's episode. Thrawn, a Jedi with whom he once formed an unlikely alliance in Star Wars, The Clone Wars, appears to be pleasantly surprised by the revelation that Anakin Skywalker was her master. Of course, he is one of the few people who is aware that Anakin Skywalker is Darth Vader. It is therefore rather amusing that he was unaware of this important fact, though visitors to Ahsoka were probably equally perplexed by the revelation that Anakin even had a Padawan. Being the master tactician that he is, Thrawn understands that Ahsoka's main concern will be finding Sabine, and he just so happens to know where she is. Ezra and Sabine are to be killed, according to Baylan, Ray Stevenson, who tells Shin, Ivana Sakno, that Sabine's path is one of ambition while Ezra's is ostensibly not. He makes it clear that he wants to leave her, but not before imparting some wise counsel on how rushing to win will always result in loss. Ahsoka has pursued victory rather impatiently, so this piece of advice might have been helpful for the scriptwriting process. In between Episode 6 and Episode 7, Sabine, Natasha Libordizo, has filled Ezra, Emanistandi, in on everything that has transpired since he's been absent. From the collapse of the Empire to Emperor Palpatine's death to Hera and Zeb's promotion, but she hasn't informed him how she discovered him on Peridea. Ahsoka contacts Sabine while she is traveling with Ezra and the Noti through the Force. Understandably, Sabine is shocked to hear her former would-be master calling out to her, because she had assumed Ahsoka was dead. The scavengers attack Sabine, Ezra, and the Noti, forcing them to use whatever weapons they can find in a chase sequence that is distinctly Star Wars Rebels in style. Since the Noti are peaceful beings, they are mainly using rocks and other objects to fend off the scavengers, brandishing blasters. Director Geeta Vasant Patel, House of the Dragon, delivers a pretty enjoyable moment aesthetically, one that feels a touch more joyful than earlier episodes. Luckily, Sabine and Ezra don't have to confront Shin alone once she gets on the scene. Ahsoka also drops in to provide help, although it's Baylan who she squares off against first. Once more, Ahsoka utilizes lightsaber combat in place of more significant scenes. Cloaked in white-gray robes with her white lightsabers, Ahsoka's deeds are mostly lost to the murky, light-gray sky above them. Neither Ahsoka nor Baylan appear overly committed in the battle, with Ahsoka deciding to create a distraction to escape from the combat so she can get to Sabine and Ezra before it's too late.